Hey, yo, what's up, guys? This is your boy, Prince of Egypt. And in today's video, I will show you my latest team. This is actually 100% clear in the Giants B12 team, which uses the twins, the new twins that I have, which also have a skill adjustment for the new balance patch 6.2.5 balance patch. That is the Dark Ifrit and also the Wind Ifrit. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Before we go on the members of our new Giants B12 team, we now first discuss what are the changes or skill modification for the Wind and Dark Ifrit. So in the version 6.2.5, the latest balance patch, the Wind and Dark Ifrit, their skill, which is I think the second skill, Super Crash, before inflicts damage in proportion to your max HP. Now, the new skill text is in proportion to the enemy's max HP. And also another effect added, the target immune to stun will have the attack bar decreased by 50% each with a 100% chance. So this is a huge change on the Dark Ifrit because the Dark Ifrit, if you don't know, has a leader skill that increases the HP of ally monsters by 33%. So he's actually built on HP, and also his damage is based on max HP, which he actually doesn't do enough damage to the boss. He is just uh, being used as a continuous damage monster because his first skill deals continuous damage or gives continuous damage to the Giants B12 boss, and also his passive skill, the conversion of magic, which cleanse the debuffs on your team. So that's why he is being used in the Giants B12 team. But now he can be built on attack percentage and crit damage because actually the bosses in the dungeon have a lot of HP. So uh, this second skill will give uh, decent damage on the enemy because or the boss because he gives damage in proportion to the enemy's max HP. The other changes was I think it was only the animation with the Ifrit, the Wind and Darkness also. Super Crash picks an issue of the skill striking timing being awkward under certain situations. So I think the animation is fixed in this change, and it doesn't uh, deal. It's not a big deal on the monsters itself. So let's try to go inside the game and see the changes, or let's discuss about the skill of the two Ifrits that we will be using in the Giants B12 team. So the first, the Veromos, the Dark Ifrit, His first skill, Mega Smash, attacks with magical powers and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns with a 50% chance. The damage increases according to attack speed. So you can use as your second slot speed to give him some hybrid damage. And also, he can cycle a lot of his skills because of his fast attack speed. So his second skill, the one that is being changed, attacks all enemies to inflict damage that's proportionate to the enemy's max HP and stuns them with a 30% chance. The target immune to stun will have the attack bar decreased by 50% each with a 100% chance. So you can give Veromos your slot for Rune a crit damage because he attacks all enemies and will give stun. So crit damage may be can be abused on him because he will attack uh, all enemies. So his passive, this is the most beneficial passive in the GB12 because it cleanses your team so that they won't have any debuff on them if Fran didn't give immunity or it wears off during the battle, then Veremos will keep the team alive. That's why in the first stages or the actually the old GB10, I ruined him. It's obviously a violent rune so that he can attack, um, have a lot of chance to land his first skill, which gives continuous damage to the enemy or to the boss of the Giants B12. That's how I rune him. Second slot speed, the fourth slot crit damage, and your sixth slot as attack percentage. And that's how I build him. And let's go to the with Akhamamir, the Wind Ifrit. So the Wind Ifrit, I put him on this team because first, he is a wind monster which has a element advantage over the Giants B12 boss, and also his leader skill is increases the attack speed of ally monsters by 24%. So this is a huge uh, leader skill that affects the team because they you can actually cycle all your skills because you have a lot of attack speed. So his first skill, Mega Smash, attacks with magical powers and it inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns with a 50% chance. The damage increases according to attack speed. So his leader skill affects your first skill and also the first skill of the Dark Ifrit Veromos. So that's why I made him our leader in this team. So his second skill, Super Crush, attacks all enemies to inflict damage that's proportionate to the enemy's max HP, which is the same to the Dark Ifrit. But his third skill is actually the most important uh, skill for this Wind Ifrit. So his third skill, Mach Crush, attacks all enemies with powerful magical energy. The damage increases by 30% for each harmful effect on the enemies. The boss has a lot of debuffs. Attack break, defense break, slow, and continuous damage. The boss has a lot of debuffs from Fran. uh, and also Cowgirl, Veromos, and the last monster that we will use is the Wind Cat or Naomi. So the Wind Ifrit, his third skill is actually a scaling skill that affects when the boss has a lot of debuffs. This is similar to having a branding effect which the Windcat has on his arsenal. So the Wind Ifrit is actually a good monster to use in the GB12 because of his leader skill, his third skill, and his continuous damage. Because there will be a time when the Windcat or Naomi will be killed in battle. However, if one of your Ifrit remains, then the boss will surely be killed by continuous damage. That is why we have two Ifrits to make sure that we land continuous damage. Team is its strategy is to deal more damage and for Naomi the Windcat to land the branding effect. So if you don't know about the branding effect of Naomi, the Wind Cat, so his second skill, Chain Attack, launches two consecutive attacks on the enemy, leaving a branding effect for 2 turns with a 50% chance and decreasing the enemy's attack bar by 25% with each attack. So the branding effect, if you don't know, enemies with branding effect takes more damage, prevents passive from functioning while the debuff is in effect, decreases the attack bar of enemy monsters, delaying the moment they get a turn. So when Naomi land branding effect on the boss, the moment that the boss uh, will have damage, it will get, I think, a lot of damage because he has a buff of branding effect. So you will see it when we go into the dungeon that when the branding effect lands on the boss, whenever the Ifrit deals damage, they will have a certain uh, additional damage. You will see it on the HP of the boss that it actually uh, scales up when it has a branding effect. So my rune for uh, the Wind Ifrit is swift so that he will have a lot of speed around 140 plus 140. So the second slot a speed, the fourth also attack percentage, HP and speed, and the sixth is attack percentage. So the fourth is crit damage because he deals is the second skill with uh dealing AoE damage to the enemies. So with my Naomi, I use uh, Violent Rune for her to attack once more because his second skill actually doesn't land a branding effect quite frequently because it only has a 50% chance. So even if I put so my rune for her is I put on the 6 slot accuracy to have 100% uh, accuracy so that she will land her branding effect on the boss, and violent so that I will have a more chance to land the branding effect if I don't actually land it on the first try. So her passive is actually, you don't have to build him critical rate because she has already have a 100% because the boss will have a lot of harmful effects when we fight him on the dungeon. So that's how I rune Naomi. So let's try it inside the dungeon for you to have a clearer view of what I am saying. Let's now go inside the boss of the Giants B12 and let's find out if our strategy will or team will perform well in this scenario. So as you can see, the Naomi is uh, putting branding effects on the monsters wave, first wave, and let's see if she can land it on the boss on this stage. I did try a lot of runs here. Actually, when you go to the boss, your team might be killed sometimes if one of the Ifrit and sometimes Naomi. But if Naomi will land the branding effect on the boss, then it's easy for for the rest of the team to kill the boss and also the Ifrits. The wind and dark will finish this dungeon. So that is decent. We have two AoE monsters inside, the Dark and Wind Ifrit. And you can see the team is actually fast because of the leader skill of the Wind Ifrit having 24% attack speed increase. So we are now on the boss. Let's see how they will perform. So Naomi land the branding effect and I think we can clear it faster than normal because this team actually cleared this dungeon around 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So this is actually a successful run because Naomi uh, inflicts the branding effect on the boss. So even if Lauren dies here, we actually we will kill this boss. Yeah, that's it. So let's see the time. It's around 2:37 and my best time is around 2 minutes and 3 seconds. So my tip for you guys, for those new players, if you want to build a Giants B12 team, uh, you need to at least clear the refraid R3. So that is the minimum requirement. Because before I become successful in clearing the Giants B12, I did farm a lot of R3 because I don't have a R5 team right now. Because to have a R5 team, you need to have 3 accounts at least with Balaguer team or the BJR5 team to have it consistently. And I don't have any Belager yet on my other accounts. That's why I'm just farming R3 and and today I did finish uh, g- grinding the runes. I did amplify some of the stats of the runes and it did quite actually well on these masters. And this is our second try. Let's see. And this is the boss. Did land the branding effect. So this is actually a successful run. Yeah, we did a lot of damage because the boss is on branding effect. And this is a successful run. Even if someone dies here, we will finish this run because the boss also has a continuous damage. So that's it, guys. That is the team I'm using in clearing the Giants B12. I hope that this patch gives you a lot of choices in the team that you may use in clearing GB12. And this is the first time that I have a successful team with a decent clear time around 2 minutes, most likely 2.15 to 30. And this is actually a 100% clear time. It doesn't fail if you have a lot of grindstone in your account. So I suggest before you go and build Giants B12 team, you must have at least your rune grinded out with the grindstones so that you don't waste any energy because it is actually a trial and error in clearing the Giants B12. And I think this team that I have is the minimum required stats. I will show it to you guys so that you may have a benchmark on how you can clear the Giants B12 team. And yeah, that's it. So if you like this video, guys, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It will be a great help to the channel and for me, guys, so that I can post more videos of which I have cleared or I have studied and I have experience in any areas of the game. That's why I'm only posting the videos that I have already done. And actually, Giants B12 is a hard stage for me because I did not actually at first I think that when you find a good rune, then you power up it and makes even if you have think attack percentage, HP, all that stuff, you think you have good runes enough to finish Giants B12, but that is not actually the uh, idea of Giants B12. The idea of Giants B12 is for you to farm R3 before you jump into Giants B12 because Giants B12 is a tough uh, dungeon. This is actually a free-to-play team. I think the only hard monster to craft here or to find is the Wind Ifrit. But if you are diligent enough to farm the guild battles or the siege battles in your guild, then you will have a lot of chance to summon Ifrits because you can also summon Ifrits in the shop of the guild. So that's it, guys. Thank you for your subscribers. And now we have 18 subscribers. And yeah, see you in the next video, guys. Peace.